Did you know that the words you use to name your favorite person, city, or toy are called nouns in English grammar? Welcome to the Mastering English Grammar series. Today, we'll delve into the fascinating world of nouns. Nouns are words that name people, places, things, or ideas. We'll dive deeper into different types of nouns: common, proper, countable, uncountable, and collective. Sounds exciting, right? Stick around to become a noun expert. You encounter common nouns every day, but did you know they have a special name? Common nouns are the unsung heroes of our sentences, the everyday words that name people, places, or things in a general sense. They're the workhorses of language, quietly doing their job without any fanfare. Let's take a look at some examples. When we talk about a dog, a city, or a book, we're using common nouns. These words are generic terms, not specifying a particular dog, city, or book. They could refer to any dog, any city, or any book in the world. Common nouns are like the utility players on a football team. They might not get the headlines, but they're essential to the game. Without common nouns, we'd be left with a language full of specifics, a world where we could only talk about Rover, New York, or War and Peace, rather than dogs, cities, or books in general. So, common nouns are everywhere, aren't they? Ever wondered why some names start with capital letters? Well, they are proper nouns. These special members of the noun family have a unique quality. They always begin with a capital letter. Proper nouns are the specific names we give to people, places, or things. No two proper nouns are exactly alike. Each one is as unique as the person or place it represents. Imagine you have a friend named John. There may be many boys in the world, but there's only one John who is your friend. That's the magic of proper nouns. They help us identify unique entities in a world full of commonalities. Let's consider a few more examples. London is a proper noun because it refers to a specific city. The Great Gatsby is another proper noun, representing a unique book title. Remember, proper nouns always start with a capital letter, no matter where they are in a sentence. Can you count your friends? Yes, you can. But can you count your courage? Probably not. This brings us to the fascinating distinction between countable and uncountable nouns in English. Countable nouns, as the name suggests, are things that we can count individually. They have both singular and plural forms. Let's take the word apple, for instance. You can have one apple, two apples, or a dozen apples. Similarly, the word car is countable. You can count the number of cars in a parking lot or on the street. On the other hand, uncountable nouns, also known as mass nouns, are things that we cannot count as separate entities. They do not usually have a plural form and are often used with a singular verb. For example, we don't say waters or knowledges. Instead, we say some water or a lot of knowledge. Other examples of uncountable nouns include music, love, information, and rice. You can't count music, but you can count songs. You can't count love, but you can count the number of times you've been in love. You can't count information, but you can count facts. You can't count rice, but you can count grains of rice. It's interesting to note that some nouns can be both countable and uncountable depending on the context. For example, chocolate is uncountable when referring to the substance in general, as in, I love chocolate. But it's countable when referring to individual units, as in, I ate 2 chocolates. Remember, it's not about the physical properties of the noun, but about how we perceive and measure it. We count apples and cars because we see them as separate, countable entities. But we don't count water, knowledge, or courage because we see them as uncountable masses or concepts. In a nutshell, countable nouns are individual items we can count, whereas uncountable nouns are masses or concepts we cannot. So, the next time you want to count something or someone, remember these noun categories. Have you ever referred to your family as a bunch? That's a collective noun. Now we're venturing into the realm of collective nouns, a fascinating and often amusing area of English grammar. You see, collective nouns are those special words we use when referring to groups. Yes, groups of people, animals, objects, or ideas. So when we talk about a team of players, a flock of birds, a bouquet of flowers, or a library of books, we're using collective nouns. They're pretty handy, aren't they? And here's a fun fact. English has some delightfully unique collective nouns. Ever heard of a murder of crows or a gaggle of geese? Yes, those are collective nouns too. Keep in mind, though, that some collective nouns can take singular or plural verbs, depending on whether you're emphasizing the group as one unit or its individual members. But that's a topic for another day. From now on, you'll spot collective nouns everywhere, won't you? Wow, we've covered a lot today, haven't we? Let's take a moment to refresh our memory on the exciting journey we've taken through the realm of English nouns. We began with the basics, defining nouns as the words we use to name people, places, things, or ideas. We then ventured into the world of common nouns, those general names for people, places, or things like dog, city, or book. We contrasted these with proper nouns, the capitalized names we use for specific people, places, or things such as London, John, or the Great Gatsby. Our exploration took us further into the categories of countable and uncountable nouns. Remember, countable nouns are things that can be counted individually, like apples or cars, while uncountable nouns represent things that cannot be counted, like water or knowledge. We also discovered the concept of collective nouns, which refer to groups of people or things, like a team, a family, or a herd. And let's not forget how nouns function in sentences as subjects, objects, or possessives. Understanding these different types of nouns and their functions is crucial for improving your communication skills. It's like learning the rules of the road before setting off on a journey. So keep practicing and exploring the fascinating world of English grammar. Thanks for joining in today's noun exploration. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more grammar adventures. See you next time.